So a little bit of breakdown on what that is and why it's important. So you see QR codes all the time on products. Every type of product in the sun can have a QR code on it. If you go in a store and start looking, you'll quickly stop because they're everywhere, and that's for a good reason. What makes leveraging GS1 standards in these QR codes so important is it takes existing standards used in supply chain retail. The data elements like the UPC or G10, expiration date, batch lot number, and it puts those existing elements in a web compatible format. So what it does is with one barcode, you can do all of your supply chain things, as well as get the benefits of the QR codes you're getting today, and even take those a step further when you integrate those with things like serialization and more granular data that really unlocks those use cases. So GS1 Digital Link in these barcodes, it contains a URL just like the time you would type into your web browser. And that's what allows it to serve this dual purpose. Updated systems can parse out and use the data for supply chain, and then it's fully compatible with the web. And this really is being used for all sorts of product types. And so on the next slide, we have a fixed weight product example. With using GS1 Digital Link and GS1 standards, the minimum requirement is you at least have the G10 in the barcode. But when you begin to expand that to more data, you can do a lot more with it. So in this milk example, really good match to what we're seeing with real world products around the world. Beginning to include something like a batch lot number allows you to do more and capture more. You get more granular identification, so every product's not the same from a scanning standpoint. And you can map what's in this barcode to digital information like where it came from, sourcing information. We see some really cool use cases in the fresh industry of here's the farm this product was produced at. And with batch lot numbers too, when you have that in your barcode, you can then do applications like recall happens. Okay. Only impacted batch lot codes will show something saying, hey, your product's not safe. Here is how you handle the recall, get a replacement product, and handle the PR aspects. Products that aren't part of that recall can take a user to a different experience that'll say, hey, your product is safe. It's great. Continue on. No worries. Because you have that in your barcode, it lets you do some really interesting things that vary on what your need's going to be. In addition to kind of the batch lot number example, we're seeing a lot of industry interest in things like a best before, an expiration date, to really make sure products are getting on shelf when they need to be, in terms of inventory rotation, as well as interesting things with dynamic price markdowns and some analytics that get coupled with knowing how close products are selling to those expiration dates. Along with the fixed weight products, there's also variable measure products. So on the next slide, we have an example here with, I'm going to call that salmon. It looks very salmon-y to me, where you can have more data in there for this management. And with a lot of retailers, they're looking at their in-store label and produced products. Also with the Food Safety Modernization Act and FSMA 204, we see a lot of interest in not just the consumer each retail unit, but how might 2D barcodes work for case level and higher packaging. So with this, you have batch lot number, you have best before date, and in some cases, you might have variable measure attribution like the weight, price, or count of the product. And those continue to be things that are being explored, and the best way to navigate this, with the art of the possible being so vast when you have these data points and the web connectivity, where do you take it? What's your starting point? What's your crawl versus your run, and how do you get there? It's just a big thing with the amount of choices with these standards.